Gentlemen, you know what? That's what we're going to talk about today. How to be a gentleman today on Big Pretty Man. Hi, and welcome back to Big Pretty Man, the channel for the extra large man who wants to live his life large and in charge. I'm your host, Timothy Big Pretty Crowe. I'm a wardrobe and lifestyle consultant for the extra large man. Alright guys, if you've watched my videos, you know that I commonly make the statement that because of the negative stereotypes against extra large, heavy-set, fat men being slovenly and slobby, that we big men must step up our game in every category. That would be in our dress, in our grooming, but also in our manners and in our etiquette. In other words, we have to be gentlemen. In fact, to combat this negative stereotype, we have to be the ultimate gentleman. So that brings up the great question. Well, what exactly is a gentleman in this day and time? And how do you define it? Well, for that, let's go to the Oxford Dictionary. And the Oxford Dictionary defines a gentleman as a man who is courteous, chivalrous, and honorable. I think that's a damn good definition. However, I think each one of these categories needs to be broken down and put into proper modern perspective as to what exactly they mean and how they apply. So let's get started with being courteous. Now, being courteous is exactly what it says. It's to be kind and to be respectful to other people. You know, it's to offer your seat to elders, to open doors for people, and let them in first. It's to speak kindly and not to be rude. Because to be rude is to be disrespectful. So that right there knocks you out of being courteous. And really, that's what it comes down to. That's what all manners come down to, really, is being respectful and considerate of other people. No matter who they are, no matter their age or their economic status or their social status, being respectful to all other people around you. And not only that, but also expecting that respect, which we'll get into later. But you know what, I like to boil things down. And really, when you boil it down to when it comes to manners and being courteous, it boils down to the greatest piece of wisdom that every great religion and every great philosophy has figured out. And that is the great golden rule, which is do unto others as you would have done unto yourself. We've all heard this. But now think about it. If everyone treated everyone else the way that they wanted to be treated, the way that you would want yourself treated, I know it's idealistic, but just think how wonderful things could be. How much strife, how much hurt and pain could be ended in the world, and how much more harmony that we could have. We're probably not going to achieve that because basic human nature is to show more selfishness. We define things by I and my. That's just our nature. Is an egocentric mentality. But if we all took that discipline to step forward and overcome that, how much better would it be? And though it may be idealistic, it's something that we can achieve. And yes, it is the greatest piece of human wisdom. Jesus said, "In everything, do to others as you would have them do to you, for this is the law and the prophets." The Prophet Muhammad said, no one of you truly believes until you wish for others what you wish for yourself. The Buddha said, treat not others in ways that you yourself would find harmful. I think that Confucius said it the best, though. One word which sums up the basis of all good conduct: loving kindness. Do not do to others what you do not want done to yourself. This is the greatest of all laws of human civilization, and one that we should all be striving for. But but if you do this, if you always aim to do this, 95% of your manners are taken care of. You wouldn't be rude to someone because you don't want people to be rude to you. That's not being courteous. That's not being respectful. That's not being considerate. If you would also, in being considerate, you would open doors for your elders. You would offer a helping hand to someone that would need it. You would always speak kindly. And so and that is the act of a gentleman, to be courteous and to be kind to people, and to expect that in return. And we'll go into that in one of the other categories. Now, the next category is, of course, being chivalrous. And I think when we think of chivalry, we think of knights of old, medieval knights. Well, don't have to be medieval. This can be very contemporary to be chivalrous. Being chivalrous is simply to be helpful and trustworthy to other people who may not be as in a greater advantage of you. Being courteous. It's part of being courteous is being chivalrous, is stepping up. Help those that are less capable of you in certain situations. But this, especially for a gentleman, applies to our interactions with women, showing women a special form of respect. Now, we have to be careful with this because, and this can be a little controversial because, if treated the wrong way and from the wrong perspective, then this giving special respect to women can come from a place of being misogynistic or chauvinistic, and could rightfully be said to be seen so. However, that's not what I'm talking about. When I talk about showing a special respect for women, I am saying to show a respect for what I refer to as the feminine divine. That's right, I said the feminine divine. Because I want you to think about what a woman can do that men can't do. A woman can take one ingredient from men, one little ingredient, and what do they do with it? They create a human being. They grow and produce another living, thinking human being. I want you to really think about just how miraculous that is. And that's the reason ancient people saw women, the earth goddess, as the source of divinity, because to create life is a divine thing in most religious thought and in most people's thought. A woman creates life inside her body and produces and bursts this human being into our world. And it's something that every human being on earth shares, is that they all come from out of a woman. We are all on this earth because women are the source of life. In fact, all female species are the source of life on this planet. That deserves a special form of respect, in my opinion. So whenever you are dealing with any women, gentlemen, remember, you must respect in all women the womb that bore you. And you bear that in mind the next time you're dealing with women. You bear that in mind next time that you're in your interaction with women. Don't be lecherous. Don't be a woman uncomfortable. Keep your hands to yourself. Show a woman a special form of respect. Open doors for her. Open car doors for her. Offer your hand to step up out of a car or step over something, that's in her way. If it rains, offer her your coat, even if you have to go cold. If you only have one umbrella, hold it over her head. Why? Because this is the source of life on this planet, and show her that respect. To me, that's not being condescending to women. That's lifting them up to a very special category which they deserve. And I'll tell you what, you may say this sounds a little bit old-fashioned, but when you consider some of the stories and the horrific things that have come out of the Me Too movement, of how women have been harassed and sexually abused, through that they had to take it in silence, I think it's time we brought back a real perspective for respect for women. And then, because in no way should we see women as not being equal to men. That women deserve to be treated equally, to be paid equally. And just as intelligent and just as capable as all men. That is a given in my head. But but still, men are different, and they deserve that special respect. That I respect the divinity of womanhood. If you do that, you're never going to go wrong. Now, it's true, there are some women that if you open doors for them or you do these things, they see it as a bit of an insult. Trying to say, oh, you're acting like I can't do that myself. To me, that's not the point. Of course they can do it themselves. That's not the point. I'm offering this type of service out of respect for womanhood. You know, now if a woman, and I respect her wishes. If she doesn't want me to hold a door for her, I won't. You know, I'll give her that respect. If that's what she wants, I respect her wishes. But I'll tell you, in my experience, probably 85% of the time, women not only appreciate, but many expect that type of courtesy, that type of respect. You know, walk in a door and open a door and let it swing shut on a woman without holding it open for her. See what reaction you normally get. About 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be like, well, that's all right, I can open the door myself. No, it's going to be like, why didn't you hold that door open for me? I think we've all kind of experienced that. Either way, show women the proper respect, that special respect, unless they ask you not to do so. Because then you are still showing her that respect. You do that, and that right there is going to make you a very chivalrous man. Okay? Now, the next category and the last one is to be honorable. Now, I think that when we think of honor like we did with chivalry, we think of medieval knights, or we think of feudal samurai who, if they're dishonored, they commit seppuku, you know, you know, or we think of even modern, soldiers. But in truth, to be honorable, you don't have to come from a militant or military background. To me, I define being honorable as projecting your own integrity and your own dignity out in the world. To me, that is what honor is. You're projecting your own integrity and dignity to others. You're showing yourself your true character, that this is a upstanding and good character. You know, one that is both chivalrous and courteous, but also is a reliable person. And that's some of the things that being an honorable person needs to do. You need to be reliable. You know, you need to be punctual. You know, if you tell somebody, I'm going to do this, you go do this. You keep your, if you say, I'm going to be at a certain time, be there at that time. You know, if you say, I'll do a certain job, do that job to the best of your ability. Be the ultimate person that you can be and project that character out into the world. That is your dignity, and that is your integrity, and it's being shown to other people. That is your honor. You know, so also to keep your word. You know, if you say something, you say you're going to do something, then do it. Keep your word. If you say, and this is in financial or, in financial and vocational or relationships. Keep your word. Keep your dignity. Show your integrity. That is your honor. Now, when we were talking earlier about being respectful to other people, that is a big part of honor. But within honor, we also have to remember that we have to, we expect, just as we put that out there, our integrity. We will not have that integrity abused or disrespected. We put out that respect. We want that respect in return. And we're not going to take anything else. We're not going to accept anything else. To be mannerable and to be respectful of other people is not supposed to make you a doormat for other people to walk on you or take advantage of you. No, that is violating your honor, your own self-worth, and your own dignity and your integrity, and you can't allow that. Now, I'm not saying that you should be a violent person, or that you should be even an argumentative person or a stubborn person. And you do have to judge these things as they come along. But just when any type of situation where someone is either trying to take advantage of you or being abusive towards you verbally, just remember, are they starting to step? You have a line for your integrity. You have a line for your dignity. And you make sure that line is well established. And when they step over that line, you have to let them know that this will not be tolerated. Now, at the same time, I'm not saying, to lose your temper. I'm not saying to go off on somebody. In fact, that's usually the worst thing you can do. Because really, if someone is being rude to you, is being disrespectful to you, for you to go off on them, you're actually giving them a satisfaction. They're often trying to get a reaction out of you. And therefore, you've now stepped down to their level, and even you can even see it in their face when you do it a lot of times. They've kind of won. Don't let them win. Keep your own. If someone is being undignified, you take the higher ground and you stay dignified. If someone speaks, but still you have to stand your ground. That line, stand on that line and stand hard on that line. But you can still do that do it with integrity and dignity. Give you, for instance, say someone, is rude to you, speaks rude to you, maybe at a workplace, someone's having a bad day and they snap at you. Now, I'm a man of a bit of a temper myself, and as I've said before, I don't take, but I don't give any shit. I don't give, but I don't take any shit. So, a lot of times my first response that pops in my head is, I'll cut your damn head off and throw it at your dying ass. But see, that's not right. That's actually me stepping down to their level. I want to take the higher ground. But at the same time, I've got to show that I'm not going to allow that type of abuse. So I'm going to respectfully let that be known. I'm going to do that through my body language. I'm going to stand square. I'm going to cross my arms. If you cross your arms, that is showing resoluteness. That this is not a negotiation. Look them straight in the eye and be like, okay. Number one, I do not tolerate that type of abuse. I'm kind to people. I'm kind to you. I expect that in return. If you cannot do that, then you need not speak to me. But let that be the last time that you speak familiar to me in that tone. I hope we understand each other. Now, this is the last time I'm saying it. And then walk away. You've took a stand. You made your point known, and you've stepped away from the conversation. You didn't stoop to their level. That's the way a man handles his business. That's how a man handles his life. Because going off on them can get you fired, can get you in legal trouble, can cause all kinds of strife. But that's the way that's the way you've got to handle things. Now, when I was younger, I was full of a lot of piss and vinegar, and yeah, I've done. I've flew off the handle and handled it more like in the way that I first said, and I'm not proud of that. But I'm an older man and I see that. And even if you're a younger man, take this advice. Don't let anyone compromise your dignity. Stay to your line. Don't step over it and don't step under to their level. That is the act of an honorable man. And that is the act of a gentleman. And people will respect that. You give respect, you expect respect, and don't take any other don't accept any other alternative. This is the way it is. I give respect. I expect respect. You're going to give me respect. You're going to step away. That is the way a gentleman and a man in general who is honorable should act. So, in conclusion, gentlemen, to be a gentleman is really pretty simple in application. Pretty simple in theoretically, a little harder in application. It comes down to basically showing respect to other people, expecting and only accepting that type of respect in return, to show loving kindness, and to respect the womb that bore you in all women. That is being a gentleman. You do that, you're a gentleman. Now, we're all imperfect. Are we always going to be able to maintain that type of level? Of course not. We all can lose our tempers. We all have bad days. We all get caught up in a bad situation. We all may pop something off we wish we didn't say. We may walk by something that where we could have been more help and we know it, but because of our own selfishness, we moved on. We're human. But the thing is to always note those things and to strive always to be better. Always try to step up to that level. Have that level set, and whenever you go under it, check yourself. Put yourself back in that place. That's what a gentleman does. Being a gentleman is not something that's automatic. It's something we have to work at, and it's something we have to work out all of our lives. So, all you gentlemen out there, you be gentlemen. Treat women respectfully. Be kind to other people. Follow that golden rule, and while you do it, you stay pretty.